everyone. I'm Symphony Privet. Thank you for joining us here on Featured. We hope to inspire or simply make you smile with uplifting stories from across the country. An 18-year-old from Ohio has spent much of his life in and out of operating rooms. And now, after more than 40 surgeries, he's heading to college. As a record-breaking athlete, Lindsey Buckingham introduces us to Connor Hunt.
On the family farm in Garrettsville, 18-year-old Connor Hunt makes the rounds.
I bought him and his twin when I was around my second grade.
Visiting the goat he's had since he was a little boy.
What's your goat's name?
Think two.
He's in the middle of two brothers, but his parents say that never changed how he was raised.
We just treated them all the same.
Even though their circumstances weren't the same, Connor was born with spina bifida, a condition that affects the spine, the legs, and bladder function.
We didn't find out until like 30 weeks gestational age. My brain was like, okay, what is this? What do I need to do? What is the outcome? Like, what kind of life are we looking at?
Within 24 hours, he was already in surgery, the first of dozens.
We kind of stopped counting after 40.
Though Connor never stopped.
He was riding a skateboard down a Little Tykes slide at less than 2 years old. He's gonna do what he's gonna do.
That attitude carrying him through every challenge.
How did you develop such a positive mindset?
Just sports mainly.
Like wheelchair basketball and track. He's captured 12 state titles and 4 national championships. No one is more proud than Mom.
This is a path we didn't think we were gonna be on, but to just watch him just take the next step and just do what he's gonna do in life just kind of shows you a testament to his character. So I just hope he keeps doing great things.
And he will. He's headed to the University of Cincinnati, where he'll compete in the same sports that shaped who he is.
If you're really serious about doing something, don't let other people tell you can't do it.
A message Connor wants others to hear.
Don't let that bring you down. If anything, use that more as motivation to prove them wrong, to keep going and to show people that you are serious about this, that you want to take it to the next level.
That is awesome. Don't let anyone tell you that you can't do something. That was Lindsey Buckingham reporting. Now, Connor is leaving for the University of Cincinnati. He'll be studying biological sciences of animals with hopes of going into marine biology one day. Plus, on the track, he has a big dream with his sights set on the 2028 Paralympics. We are wishing him the best. Well, sometimes healing can happen in unexpected ways. At university hospitals in Ohio, a new collection is giving patients and the people who care for them something else to focus on, turning an ordinary hallway into a space designed to inspire, comfort, and even spark a few memories. The artist behind this gift says he knows firsthand the impact art can have in a hospital setting. Here's Christy Paul.
So many patients, family members, and staff face massive amounts of stress and anxiety that are related to the hospitalization, and art is a way to help diffuse that for them.
A gift from a famous artist is transforming a hallway here at university hospitals.
So this is probably what he's most known for iconically, are the bunnies.
Into a museum of sorts.
I've spent long periods of times in hospitals, and I find art very uplifting.
Painter and sculptor Hunt Slonim hopes that even in life's darkest moments, they help people find a little light.
I think nature is the most healing thing that we have, and I think a lot of the problems we have today are from lack of connection to nature. I still have 10 parrots. They thrill me more than almost anything else I look at.
We have so many patients that are able to be pushed through their wheelchairs and ambulate the hallways and have this actually be a destination and a bright spot in their stay. And it's such a crucial part of their treatment.
Director of Art Curation, Thomas Huck, says one image in particular has come to represent the journey so many patients take from illness to recovery.
butterflies are really important imagery. There's just something about, maybe the transformation they go through, and I think that's what people do here. They come in, they're not well, and through the healing process, they transform.
Seneca Block, director for expressive therapies, says patients from children to the elderly can look at a piece of art, reminisce on a past time they felt well, and dream that it will happen again.
This art gallery really helps the hospital ecosystem. So it's helping not only the individuals who are going through the treatment, but it's actually helping the individuals who are at bedside and helping them with their treatment and care get through their day as well.
I'm thrilled that it's in such a public place and in such a healing place, and with great possibility of affecting those who come here. I'm just making a point of look at what's around you and enjoy it.
That was Christy Paul reporting from Ohio. A woman from Idaho completed something extraordinary. She swam the English Channel. Ooh, that's the strait of the Atlantic Ocean that connects England with France. It's a feat that only around 3,200 people have done since 1875. More people have climbed Mount Everest. Terrence Holton has her story.
Turpin trained for 10 months to make the swim from the south of England to Ouessant, France, and said that swimming the English Channel was easier than the training.
The training was 10 months of really tough, grueling training.
Turpin trained all across Idaho, starting at Quinn's Pond, eventually making her way out of the Gem State to San Diego for her first open swim. But first came pool swimming.
Living in Idaho and not having open water available to me for a lot of the time. In the winter, if you could imagine swimming 19,000 yards in a 25-yard pool.
Turpin is an endurance athlete and has been doing Ironman races for the last 12 years. Her brother and sister were the ones that put it in her head to try something a bit bigger.
It just sounded like such an epic challenge to swim from England to France.
That epic challenge took 15 hours and 5 minutes, swimming roughly 30 miles without being able to touch the safety boat, only being supported every 30 minutes with nutrition packs.
I didn't have a watch on. I didn't know how long I'd been swimming, didn't know what time I was, but I knew every 30 minutes I'd get this little reset, I'd get my nutrition, I'd get to talk to people for a second.
Her inspiration went beyond just a fun challenge. Turpin finished her swim on the 100-year anniversary of when Gertrude Ederle became the first woman to swim the channel. Turpin is also believed to be the first Idahoan to ever swim the crossing between England and France.
To do that also on the 100th anniversary of the first woman to ever swim the channel, it's really cool.
That was Terrence Holton reporting. Bill Ball has been a beloved volunteer with the Boys and Girls Clubs in Idaho for years now. He started a unique activity for the kids to do. It's RC cars, and it's been a huge hit. Maggie O'Mara shares his story.
On summer days, you may just find remote-control cars racing around your local Boys and Girls Club.
Well, about 16 years ago, I was retired and we were very active with the Boys and Girls Club start up in Meridian, and I felt that the kids needed something else to do during the summer.
Bill Ball came up with this. It's an RC car club.
I thought, why not RC cars, you know? I think they'd like that, so we put a group of people together to help us sponsor the cars, the trailer, and the program, and so off we went.
For the last 16 years, Bill has been taking these cool cars to local Boys and Girls Clubs so the kids can play.
We put it together and started with a couple of clubs, and it was very successful. From there, we expanded it to 5 days a week. We have 13 cars now that we run. We generally run 30 to 40 kids through in the mornings, so then we do 5 clubs.
You got 1 minute left, okay?
The kids love it.
They're a lot of fun, get a lot of hugs. It's a lot of fun to watch them react and enjoy the cars and very fulfilling.
Sometimes his great-grandkids come with him.
Great-grandkids are helping us today, Parker and Savannah.
And he said, I've been doing this thing called RC cars, and I want you to come one time. So I went one day with that week, and I really liked it, and I just kept going back. And that was like 3 years ago. It was so fun. It wouldn't be possible without him.
It's bittersweet, though, because Bill has decided this summer will be his last.
I'm retiring this summer.
He's going to miss it, and the kids at the clubs.
We had a great time together. We've enjoyed it. I think it's been a very successful program, and a lot of the kids, some of the kids are on staff now that started with us originally as little kids.
I think some kids are very thankful for doing RC cars. It's kind of sad that he's going to stop doing this, but most kids really enjoyed it all these years.
The kids made Bill this handmade card to say thank you.
A lot of nice thank yous. Great job drawing the cars. Very well done.
And Bill knows these RC cars, they'll keep on rolling for years to come, thanks to him.
It's been a great program.
That was Maggie O'Mara reporting from Idaho. Coming up this morning on Featured, after a long search for a donor, one boy found his life-saving match. How an older brother is giving his bone marrow to save his little brother. And firefighters in Arizona are raising the bar for a good cause. How they put their strength to the test to raise thousands of dollars for a local foundation. A 5-year-old from Texas decided to get on the hospital table and endure a bone marrow transplant for his little brother. The 1-year-old brother is living with a rare form of leukemia, and his big brother was ready to take on the role to help save his life. Adriana Alexander shows us a look at their story.
This is Jase Williams. He's only 1 year old and the youngest of 4 brothers. But months ago, his mom, Shanika, noticed that he was constantly getting sick.
He caught the flu, and then he caught RSV, and then he caught pneumonia.
After back and forth visits to the hospital, the Williams family was hit with an unexpected diagnosis that changed their lives, especially Jase's.
The oncologist came and she was like, okay, we got test results. And then that's when she let me know that my baby had leukemia.
Since April, Jase has undergone 4 rounds of chemotherapy at Texas Children's Hospital in Houston. With his leukemia diagnosis, Jase was in desperate need of a bone marrow donor. And his brother, 5-year-old Jules, stepped in to donate his bone marrow to his baby brother.
When the day finally came, I was like, okay, you ready to go? We're going to go save your brother's life. And when the day got here, he was like super nervous. He was scared, but he was ready.
Shanika says Jules may not understand everything his little brother is facing, but he understood one thing. He could help save his life.
That was very nerve-wracking for me because I was just like taking from one child to give to the next, and how big of this procedure isn't going to harm him.
Jules has since returned home to Belton.
Say hi. Say hi.
And recovery begins for his little brother, Jase.
It took about 2 hours. And so they kind of come in and they clap and they hold up the bag and take pictures. And it's just a nice little celebrating moment. And it was good.
Aw, that was Adriana Alexander reporting. Now, the family will have to wait to see if little Jase's body accepts his brother's cells. We hope so. Now, for one child battling cancer, it isn't safe for him to play on a playground with many other children. So, the Columbus, Ohio Firefighters Association jumped in to do what they do best, help the community. Here's Lacey Crisp.
That smile is worth all the sweat and hard work.
Murph, can those pickets go on now?
1-year-old Waylon is battling cancer.
He has neuroblastoma cancer, currently going through treatment.
Which means he has to be careful about being around a lot of germs, including public parks.
Heard about an organization called Rock Solid, where they build sponsorships for building playgrounds for kids with cancer.
Which way can push it this way?
The Columbus Firefighter Charity Foundation sponsored the playset and built it along with the firefighters from Station 17 on the city's west side.
It's our community. We're the firefighters of this community. Why not go out there and help the community? We always see them in the times where they're worst. Why not be there and make them have a good day, show up when they need us most? And this is a great opportunity for firefighters. 3 for this side, 3 for that side.
Mom and Waylon watched the first responders, piece by piece, put together the playset. A playset that means more than just a safe place for Waylon.
There's still compassion in this world and still love in this world.
Love that you can see beam from Waylon.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that is awesome, and I'm glad to see that big smile on his face. That was Lacey Crisp reporting from Ohio. Well, firefighters in Arizona put their strength to the test for a good cause. Check this out. The event was created by a man who suffered some serious burns from an explosion that happened years ago. But now he's pushing others to raise the bar. Here's Chase Golightly.
Let's do it.
Got this.
Let's do it.
On his day off, Mesa firefighter Tyler Franklin is putting in the work. He, along with other Valley firefighters, are trying to do as many pull-ups as they can within an hour.
What's it been like so far? Very hard. Just trying to push my limits.
He isn't complaining, knowing what these pull-ups will accomplish.
It's great, dude. Like, you're able to participate in something, bigger than yourself.
It's all to raise $40,000 for a cause near and dear to the man who started this endurance event.
How you feeling, good?
Good, yeah.
Glenn Jordan.
Want to raise as much money as we can. There is at a burn foundation and the burn survivors around the entire state.
It was almost 5 years ago when Jordan survived a gas explosion in Chandler. He was working at an eyeglass repair shop a couple doors down from Platinum Printing, where a mislabeled and overlooked gas pipe known to leak in hot climates exploded.
We have an explosion right in rural northeast corner.
4 people were injured, including Jordan, who suffered 2nd and 3rd degree burns to 40% of his body and spent 26 days in an induced coma. Despite what he went through, Jordan pushed through.
Had a great opportunity to be in a gym of this nature, to have great physical therapists, to get me to thrive again.
Inspiring him to create the pull-up challenge to not only raise money for burn victims, but to show you can endure anything you put your mind to.
The idea is to achieve goals that you set. Don't stop there. Celebrate them, set a higher bar, keep raising the bar, work toward that. That's what each person here is doing today.
Showing them support along with the crowd, helping Franklin reach that goal he set for himself. Hitting 312 pull-ups.
The last stretch was really hard, thankfully. I had someone in my corner right here. She gave me a lot of help, a lot of encouragement, and yeah, I gave it my all.
Meaning so much to him, the other firefighters, and of course, Jordan.
It's incredible emotionally to see everybody want to turn out to support me, the event, and the foundation.
Chase Golightly.
Wonderful. Coming up after this break, a Texas dad given just months to live is refusing to let cancer define his final chapter. Coming up next, what's motivating him to keep living life to the fullest. And still ahead, from sleeping under a pier to saving lives. One San Diego nonprofit is celebrating 25 years of helping kids experiencing homelessness. We'll introduce you to the man who says it changed the course of his life. Welcome back. He's been a father for only 6 months, and already he is fighting just to have the chance to watch his son grow up. A first-time dad in Texas is battling an aggressive form of brain cancer. And now he and his family are hoping for a miracle that could give him more time with his baby boy. Here's Sean Giggy.
Go see Mom. 27-year-old Shannon Weimers of Justin had only been a father for 6 months. Yay! Good job, Lincoln! When he found out he might only have a few more months to live. Yeah. Back in February, soon after Lincoln was born, this twice-deployed reserve airman was diagnosed with an aggressive form of brain cancer.
It was pretty devastating, and the first thing I thought about was my family and that I needed to be here to support them.
One morning it's the best thing ever, and the next it's like, what does tomorrow hold?
On average, people with his diagnosis have about a year to live. But because he's young and active, doctors say Shannon's odds are greater. Although, all they can really do is try to limit the spread.
However, there is a cutting-edge treatment that has shown real promise toward curing brain cancer. The only problem, it's in Germany, and it costs nearly $100,000. Money they simply don't have.
We're gonna do whatever it takes to get him there and get those vaccines.
And we're fighting for the best possible way to be here, to see him grow up, to graduate, to be there for him.
That's why they started a crowdfunding campaign to cover the cost.
It is cutting edge.
They remain hopeful, but say they've already been blessed.
Honestly, we have just been in awe.
In fact, Shannon believes he was chosen to have cancer.
I'm strong, I can handle it, and I can show others that if I can do it, you can too.
What motivates him, however, isn't what's spreading through his brain, but rather what fills his heart.
I need to be a father figure for my son, to show him how to treat people, how to grow up in a world that's not so kind, and to be that light.
A light for others.
Good job.
Like father, like son. In Justin, I'm Sean Giggy.
Oh my goodness, we're wishing them the best on this journey. But coming up, a second chance at life and a 1 in 100,000 kidney match. How a priest found out his life-saving donor was closer than he could have imagined. And there's a lot on track in Connecticut, how low vision athletes are getting in high gear. Thank you for staying with us on Featured. I'm Symphony Privet, and we are continuing to bring you uplifting stories from across the country. The nonprofit Doors of Change in California is celebrating 25 years of success fighting youth homelessness. Jeff Zevely tells us more about its mission.
It's fitting that we're standing in front of an ambulance because most of us at some point in our life need a rescue.
Homeless and sleeping under a pier is no place for a child.
It was scary. It was embarrassing going to school. It was dangerous because he didn't know who he was staying with.
Tyler De Los Reyes says his mother was hooked on drugs, and if he had not found the nonprofit Doors of Change,
I'm pretty sure I would still be on the streets.
Instead, Tyler is a standout employee at AMR, working up to 90 hours a week, both saving lives as a dispatch supervisor and also providing lead security at a second job for the San Diego Padres.
I love you, buddy.
Hey, bud. How are you?
You're the best. I'm so proud of you, man.
Thanks, man.
Doors of Change founder Jeffrey Sitkoff met Tyler when he was 16 and homeless.
For 25 years, Jeff, I've worked with thousands of kids. He, to me, is our most successful, rocky story of anybody.
Doors of Change is celebrating 25 years of helping kids get off the streets. Teenagers like Danielle Baines, who was forced to leave her home and go it alone at age
16. Yeah. That's life.
Danielle says she was lost and trying to find herself when Doors of Change came into her life to help her and her daughter, Abrielle.
Oh, I love my baby. That's my everything. My baby is the reason, I keep going.
Danielle is thriving thanks to resources and mentorship from lead case manager Turquoise Teague, who was once homeless herself.
I've been placed on this earth to connect youth to opportunities. If things are broke, I'ma fix it. I'm not gonna wait for society to fix it.
Doors of Change will celebrate its 25th anniversary with a benefit concert starring the Tom Petty tribute band, Petty Breakers.
I've been to 5 concerts of hope and danced at every one.
I'll host the event that always provides great music, fun, and inspiring stories of young adults breaking the cycle of homelessness.
We've helped 23,000 homeless kids in San Diego.
As for Tyler De Los Reyes, he received Employee of the Year for the Padres. He was also awarded Employee of the Quarter at AMR. And when I asked about his mother,
My mom is great. She lives with me. She's been sober. This is gonna be her 12th year sober.
Tyler credits Doors of Change for saving his mother's life too.
Having that support system when you're down in the gutter, it works. Doors of Change literally opened the door for me.
In the Zevely Zone,
25 years!
Jeff Zevely.
A donation made with love. One small church in Georgia witnessed what some people are calling a miracle. A priest is back at the altar because one of his own parishioners gave him the gift of life. Doctors told Father Jose the odds of finding a perfect kidney match from an unrelated donor were 1 in 100,000. Well, his church only has about a dozen people at daily mass, and somehow his miracle was sitting in those pews. Here's Caitlin Ross.
The Lord be with you.
Reading God's Word is comfort for Father Jose.
Forgive us our sins and bring us to everlasting life.
Today, every sermon carries a deeper meaning.
Holy.
One passage became his constant source of strength.
Psalm number 23. Even when I walk through a dark valley, I have no fear because you are at my side.
Diagnosed with polycystic kidney disease, he spent more than 2 years on nightly dialysis, never losing his faith.
The challenge was there at the same time. I did not feel that challenge because I felt the presence of God.
Most people in the congregation never realized how serious his condition had become.
Oh God Almighty.
While he openly shared his faith, he carried the burden of his illness quietly.
I did not have any fear, I always told them, whatever the will of God, let it happen in my life.
When doctors told him a living donor was his best chance, Father Jose finally shared his story online. Weeks later, the hospital called with incredible news.
They told me my surgery is scheduled on December 5th, 2025. I did not know who the donor was.
He knew someone had given him a second chance at life.
Blessed are you, Lord, God of all creation.
He just didn't know it was someone he already knew.
Noah Zell and his family came to me and told me, Father,
The rest of that sentence would change both of their lives. A man from the pews was offering a part of himself so his priest could keep serving others.
I did not read the whole thing, but only when I read the first line.
Noah Zell says saying yes never felt like a sacrifice. It felt like the right thing to do.
I just felt a total peace, that I was doing the right thing.
The Zell family had only been members of the parish for a few months after converting to Catholicism.
God-fearing, God-loving person, the whole family.
Their new faith inspired one extraordinary act of generosity.
For my daughters, I felt like it was really important to walk the walk, right? To not just say, well, this is what we should do.
Body of Christ.
Amen. Today, Father Jose calls it more than remarkable.
That is a miracle. God sent my daughter to our community.
Father Jose prayed for a miracle. He found it sitting in the pews.
That was Caitlin Ross reporting. Now, Father Jose and Noah both say they hope by sharing their story, they encourage more people to consider becoming living organ donors. And they say the process is carefully screened, it's safe for healthy donors, and it has the power to save someone's life. A legally blind athlete in Connecticut is working to get more visually impaired bike riders to join him. He has high hopes for his low vision BMX initiative. Here's Jim Altman with more.
There is a lot on track in Trumbull, and for low vision athletes, they are absolutely getting in high gear.
There are the sounds of the sport.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
And there are the sights. The sights involve a bit more focus. See Mike.
I am the Tubiac Maniac.
Good job, Mike. And see Mike bike.
A visually impaired BMX racer.
Nice job, everyone. We first brought you his story last year. And at the Trumbull BMX track. This is another lap for the Tubiac Maniac. Michael Tubiac suffers from the degenerative eye condition called retinitis pigmentosa.
I was diagnosed at 14. Starts with night vision loss, then peripheral vision loss, and works its way all the way to the central.
Now legally blind, his view of the course looks closer to this. But Mike has a clear vision of what he wants to accomplish.
It's a low vision BMX racing.
Oh. With guides available for novice riders, the dad from Naugatuck has begun a new BMX club for the visually impaired.
Yeah.
Step 1.
Okay, Mike, you're on a dragon's tail.
Make a mental map of the track.
It's a degree of fearlessness. I have to memorize tempo like a drummer. So it's 1, 2, pedal, 1, 2, pedal, corner, come in. Okay, no, I'm coming up. 1, 2, down. Okay, now I'm going into the dragon's back. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down.
Perhaps Mike's BMX bandwagon is finding a rhythm. It is for 6-year-old Luis DePina from Lincoln, Rhode Island.
Low vision riders together out on the track, just doing our thing, living life.
Luis is full of confidence.
Because I love bikes and I love going fast.
But he's losing his sight. His mom, Olivia, says it's a rare genetic mutation combined with an affliction called ocular albinism.
And they saw your story on Mike from last year, which happened, I would say, about a week after we had an appointment at Boston Children's about his eyes, and we learned that he was actually losing vision. So it was really meaningful to us to be able to come here to Trumbull and meet Mike and hear his story and how he's still breaking down barriers and doing his thing. And Luis is definitely trying to follow in his footsteps.
You guys ready? Yeah.
Into the twists and turns, the banks and berms. The recent kindergarten grad is all about grades. Like this.
I just think it feels cool because you're getting like stronger and stuff. So you're getting better every time you race.
He's doing great.
You know, Mike, some people are going to say this is indeed like the blind leading the blind.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah. I am leading other visually impaired and blind people to do this. Yeah, so yeah, it's kind of like the blind leading the blind. So I love that.
Okay, riders, random start.
Luis refuses to be left behind.
Riders ready, watch the gate.
And where gates keep falling, so too do the obstacles.
I love it. I think I've always thought it's nice to, leave behind a legacy and build something and create something that was never there. This is the world I'm in. I'm going to adapt to it. So I think it's very exciting.
He proves them all wrong. Yep. I don't have words for it. It's everything. I could not be more proud to be his mama. I could not be more proud.
In Trumbull, Connecticut.
Good job, Mike.
Thank you.
Jim Altman for Featured.
That is incredible. We have more for you coming up. Family reunions, Tupperware, and hugs. Oh, that sounds amazing. Sign me up. How a recipe box and a heartfelt reunion are connecting two Minnesota women for life. One family reunion extended beyond family to some prized family recipes and the box they came in. Here's Boyd Hubert.
This sacred rite of summer.
Family reunion.
The pictures.
Look at all my cousins.
And prayers. And parades.
Hello.
Of Tupperware.
My mother's recipe.
That are the prelude.
All the grandmas made this one.
To prized family recipes.
I bet Sandy brought these.
Which, it turns out, is also the prelude to a mystery.
This is the recipe box that I found at the Antique Mall in Hopkins.
Barb Scharfenberg was browsing right here when this caught her eye.
It's the same box that my mom had when I was a little girl.
A recipe box so special she'd already found others for her family. So special.
It goes from her wrist all the way to her elbow.
This is her daughter's tattoo.
It does say how special the box is.
But the antique store box had more to share.
When I opened it up, pie crust, it was full of the recipes. Cookies,
Barb,
salad loaf,
couldn't
butterscotch bars.
Stop.
There was this one in with the pickles, and it's actually for varnish remover.
Recipes.
Good bread.
Dating back to 1926.
So it's 100 years old.
Less a recipe box.
Make your husband help with the dishes.
Than a treasure chest.
It's called Love Cake. 4 lips well pressed. Very delicious. I thought, somebody's missing this part of their grandma.
Then
I was in search mode at that point. Here it is, right here.
Barb found inside.
Yeah.
A name.
Parker's Prairie, Minnesota.
And a town.
And then I thought, with this many recipes, this woman must have been Lutheran. So I wrote to the Lutheran church.
Emmanuel Lutheran forwarded the note to Parker's Prairie's other Lutheran church.
I'm Sue Elwanger. I'm the secretary here at First Lutheran Church.
Sue came through.
Another member who's lived here all her life said, I believe that this is probably Mrs. Mortz Carlson.
Violet Carlson was buried 28 years ago in the church cemetery. But her story didn't end here.
My name is Denise Hadley, and I am the granddaughter of Violet Carlson. This is my grandma Violet and my grandpa Moritz.
Denise's fondest memories.
There I am, and there's Grandma Violet.
Include coming to the farm, where she now lives.
Grandma's always in this house.
The house and farm from which the recipe box left 28 years ago with her grandma's sister, who lived in Hopkins, where it ended up at her estate sale. Then here.
I just feel like we bring that in the house, then it's back where it belongs.
Denise offered to buy it.
You remember what you paid for it?
$16.
Barb
Hi.
had other plans.
Oh. Oh, this is so special.
It is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That is her handwriting for sure.
The reunion
How many times did she handle this box?
is now
You know?
complete.
Be present at our table, Lord.
The table
Everything looks great.
and the grandma
I gotta get this.
who helped set it.
2 pounds of love. Stir well and serve after dark. Very delicious. I can't even imagine Grandma.
Violet simply stuffed the box
She was so proper.
with the recipes for family.
I do really think it's a love language. baking
is.
is.
Boyd Hooper.
That's what you do.
That is awesome. Barb's sleuthing has created more than just returning the recipe box to Denise. Both women say they feel like they've made a friend for life. I love that. I'm very curious about some of those recipes. Okay, still ahead this morning on Featured. An OnlyFans account is benefiting Marmot in Colorado. We'll tell you how researchers are utilizing it to raise awareness for the animals. Welcome back. Record low snow is still impacting Colorado in ways researchers are still learning. Ann Herbst met with a group of scientists who study marmots, and they say they found fewer animals this year compared to last year, and they have less funding to keep the work going. So Ann shows us how they are dealing with the problem in their own unique way.
In the fairy tale setting of Gothic Colorado, the beauty is obvious.
Oh, cute.
And the beast
Always looking.
can't be seen through binoculars.
Always being frustrated by the fact they're not in the trap, but next to the trap.
Dan Blumstein watched the actual villain out here
So you're not going to let her bite me?
wreak havoc on the marmots he and his students Katie and Emily study at the Rocky Mountain Biological Lab.
We had about 160 animals we were following on the end of last year, and that dropped to about 60.
Mainly we think it's because the snowpack was so low.
If there's no snowpack, they're all gonna freeze.
Dan's a scientist here.
This is the A-team.
And his research team calls themselves the Marmoteers.
The ecological and behavioral insights we're discovering from the marmots are helping us understand the world around us.
Like everyone else, they saw winter snowpack hit a record low, leaving hibernating marmots without a warm blanket.
There you go.
It's the second largest die-off the 65-year-old marmot study has seen.
It's the second time this year my feet have gotten wet, which normally I complain about, but this year it's been so dry, it's sort of a happy time for celebration. Wet feet.
Hot summers don't help survivors.
It's kind of hard for plant life. It's hard for the animals. You know, marmots get pretty much all of their water from plants.
Once upon a time, climate change was the only problem. Now, Dan has another obstacle.
Nationally funded research, federally funded research, again, since World War II, has led to an incredible increase in knowledge globally, and that's what's under threat right now.
New government grant applications for research at the outdoor lab are being rejected.
A lot of data, big database.
Nationally, funding for science like this is down 25%. Enough to make a researcher need a drink.
So we started a Marmoteers beer this year. We launched it with the Irwin Brewing Company, a local brewery in Crested Butte.
The Marmoteers brewed Marmot Tears.
Beer is spelled Marmot Tears like crying, T-E-A-R-S.
The marmots are sad. The climate is changing.
Katie and Emily also took to storytelling.
We run a science communication Instagram
to raise awareness of work being done in the valley.
We're getting people ready for the competition.
Dan's team is holding a fat marmot contest.
We have our big boy Don, the cover boy of Fat Marmot Week. Big, fluffy, golden boy.
Yeah.
But he gets these nice sun-kissed locks.
Yeah, Fat Marmot Week makes me smile.
So maybe they're doing it for the air horn, but also maybe they actually are learning something, and I think that's the goal.
Besides promoting beer and body positivity, there's an unexpected third act.
It's onlyfans.com/OnlyMarms. So there are pups, but there's also mothers carrying dried plants into the burrows. We should not have to make an OnlyFans account for our marmots in order to get funding. But that's, I think, where we're at.
Can you check the ear tags, please?
Researchers in a 65-year-old study are used to seeing and rolling with change.
It's the second longest study of individually marked mammals in the world. Jane Goodall, who many people might know, started studying chimpanzees in Gambia and Tanzania in 1960. Ken Armitage started this study in 1962.
14.79 AG.
I feel an incredible responsibility to keep this thing going, and it's really hard to keep this thing going.
Dan's crisis breeds creativity in this storybook setting. And maybe next year, there'll be a new idea brewing.
There's also Marmot Cheers, maybe, hopefully at some point, if we have a good year of snow next year.
The Marmoteers pledge to stand up for what they believe.
No, there we go.
Is a tale as old as time.
My little one.
In Gothic, Ann Herbst.
Again, OnlyMarms is a very wholesome content. Maybe a little Marmot aggression here and there. And the Marmoteers are only accepting tips for their videos at this time. And they're doing it all to raise some money, but also awareness for the work that's being done. Well, that was a very unique story this morning. And that wraps up this episode of Featured. Until next time, make it a great one.